Hey, so welcome to phase one and our vision. And this is the very first step in achieving our goals as visual artists. And we do it this way because it's absolutely essential to know how to guide yourself and be led by yourself. The truth is, we can chase other people's strategies and other people's ways of achieving success, but we don't know what their vision of their life is. So, this is the first step here because once you have a crystal clear vision of what you are meant to achieve as an artist, what you are meant to create, the impact you are meant to leave on your clients and the world, and the sense of fulfillment you get from being an artist, that becomes your North Star. That becomes your compass. And that becomes what you anchor back into when life happens. And this, when you are in this place and you are focused on your vision and how it feels in your body, then strategies come to support that vision. For example, my vision is to make large-scale public art at a much larger level than I do now. So the strategies that I need to take to get there are going to be different than for somebody, let's say their biggest vision and dream is to illustrate for National Geographic magazine or some other scientific magazine. Or if your vision is to paint a specific mural that has a certain impact, your vision then allows the strategies to come underneath it, specific for your needs. And that's why this program is so effective and why I love teaching it so much and giving this out to others. Because when you learn this once and then repeat it 3 times, this goal cycle process 3 times during the year, and then for another year and another year, it becomes a way of life, it becomes natural. And then we can take that big $300,000 sculpture painting thing we want to create, and it gives us a structure, a form, a scaffolding to stair step up to where you want to be. And it also helps us then quantum leap from we're here, we want to get here. And there seems to be this really big daunting task list, action list to get there. But this will help us bypass some of those actions if we're in the feeling place of what this feels like and it's so alive and real to us in our body and our mind and our emotions, we can get there much, much faster. Okay, so if you like, during these sessions, these training sessions, you can grab paper and pen and take notes. And I encourage you to come back and listen to this again and again and again, because repetition will support you moving forward. Repetition is what we use to repattern unwanted thoughts, feelings, actions, behaviors, and habits. If you think about your life and the way you believe about your art, your sense of self-worth, what you're able to accomplish or not accomplish, all of what you desire, the foundation of that comes from a multitude of past experiences from birth till now. And some of those experiences we can put in the category of those experiences help me to get to a belief that I can do this. And some other experience can go into the category of, yeah, I was kind of trained to believe I can't do this. So by repeating this visualization process over and over and over, and triggering our five senses, bringing online our body, mind, emotion, spirit. It does begin the repatterning process, which is a big part of the goal planning training. Okay, so why vision first? Visualization and our vision. Our greatest, most profound longing of what we desire to share with the world through our art. You are becoming a master of your art. If you're not there already, some of you already are. Let's now get you to the place where you master your business and it's just as effortless as you creating your art. So you don't have to think about it so much anymore, and not so much of your life force energy is drained out by, what do I do? How do I stay focused? Will this work? Will this not work? I'm sick of wasting my time, my money, and my energy on these strategies that I don't know if they'll work or not. I'm sick of questioning and wondering, is this the right way to go about doing this? How do I get from where I am today to a $300,000 sale? How do I get that $75,000 commission every month? So this is a process that's going to help you get there to that place. Now, the challenge is this process, the visualization process, it is going to take 7 days. And if you have the time, I encourage you to do it 14 days in a row. And you do this every time you reset after the goal cycle. You come back to this visualization. This is what you really, really want. This is the creative life you really, really want to live. This is the art studio that you're just dying to have. This is the community that you wish you could be around all the time, right? Now, we don't want to put any of our attention into how this is going to be accomplished yet. We're not going to concern ourselves right now where the money, the time, the help and support is going to come from. Not right now. We're just going to focus purely on the vision. So, sit with me for just a moment. The vision is the pure receptive state. We want to get you into a pure state of receptivity. This is oftentimes called the flow state or the zone. Sometimes it's called the feminine receptive mode. In some forms of dance and physical movement that I've been a part of, it's raw. It's that relaxed, alert, and waiting state where we are actively, our body is relaxed, but our mind is still alert, and our emotional body is waiting for information to drop in, where we're in that state of active longing and we are receiving information from source. So this visualization process I'm going to take you through, because it is a process, and this is a process that I've pulled together and distilled from a multitude of different modalities, Eastern and Western. A lot of my background is in the yogic Eastern arts, Tai Chi and yoga, meditation and visualization, which I trained in for about 20 years with my meditation teacher that I lived with for about 10 years, and being a yoga teacher also. This also comes from the work of Bob Proctor. He was a protege of Napoleon Hill, Wallace D. Wattles, those guys that wrote Think and Grow Rich, the Little Green Book. So that whole birth of the self-help industry, that's where a lot of these principles come from. I'm not making this stuff up. I'm not reinventing the wheel. We're just merging all of this together, and I'm putting it together specifically for visual artists. It's a little bit different if you want to run a real estate business, something like that. You're a visual artist, and so I'm going to apply visual arts principles to this work here. And it also comes from many years of personal and business development training programs where my instructors would use these practices and techniques so you could literally brainwash yourself. You are unlearning an old way of being that doesn't serve you based on results until today. The way you've been acting, walking, talking, living, breathing, is it getting you the result you want? Probably not. But we are reprogramming and repatterning the way our thinking and the way our mind works so that we get what we want. Not just your mind, but your brain and your central nervous system. So those are some of the reasons behind and why we do a visualization process first. Now, the result of your visualization and your vision is like the thing you see yourself living, breathing, eating, sleeping. This is your vision, the biggest picture, the most grand fantasy of what you desire. This is going to become your compass. Think about a compass for a moment, an old school compass, right? It's magnetic and the needle will always point back to north, no matter what's happening around it. This is such an essential part that I hope you'll hear me say, that no matter what is going on around a compass, it always returns pointing to true north. So when you set a big goal for yourself, which is a distilled part, like one part, here's the umbrella of your vision, right? And one part of that vision becomes a goal. And that goal has certain action steps to it. And when you take on that goal and you want to have a result from that goal, life will meet you. In other words, if you have a goal, let's say to write a book to change women's lives, life might come out to challenge your belief structure in yourself, to challenge your belief. Do you really believe in yourself? So when life meets us and we start to waver and our attention gets diverted to fixing this circumstance, our vision brings us back to true north. We come back to this every day of the 8 weeks of our goal cycle. Why do you think you'd want to do that? So that when life happens, for example, last year, the life that happened to me is I was going for my highest sale, art sale. So my father got very sick and needed to be moved, medical stuff right, left, and center. But I still hit that big financial goal by the end of the year. I still completed my largest art commission. It was a public art commission where I had only my artwork in the lobby of a residential tower here in Honolulu, and hitting that goal. And a lot of life came to meet it. But my overall vision is what kept me coming back. So it becomes your compass, your personal compass, so that you're not going to have to fall out of yourself for somebody else. As women specifically, we are trained that our compass is often the man. If you get married, then you follow the husband, then you do this, and then your compass becomes your children and are your babies and all of those things. But in reality, your soul has its own individual compass that it has to follow. It has to go with. And when we don't follow our own compass and our own vision, mental health, depression, anxiety, all of that happens. autoimmune diseases. I could go on and on about that, but we're not going to get stuck there. So your vision becomes your compass that you come back to. Again, then the vision, the big umbrella, we pull a chunk out of that vision. It's our goal. That goal has multifacets to it, which are our action steps that we take action on as we move forward. For those of you that come to me and you're saying things like, I have problems knowing what to do next, I don't know how to stay focused, I feel really ungrounded, I feel like I'm all over the map, I'm frustrated, I'm wasting my time, my money, my energy, I'm sick of being in the studio by myself, I don't know what to work on next, I have this big idea, this big, giant, beautiful idea. It's so overwhelmingly huge that I get stuck there and I don't get anything accomplished, and I need to make money to prove to myself that I can take care of myself with my art. So the vision creates order in life. It gives you a sense of order. It gives you a sense of place and space. It grounds your body. It grounds your mind. It grounds your emotions. It grounds your spirit. It is a massive source of focus. And if you have a tendency to be all over the map, I got to do this and this and this and this and this, it boom, brings you back to center. Refocus. This is my vision. This is what God put me on this earth for. This is the purpose of my life. This is what I'm here to create. This is the impact I know I was birthed to have on other people. This is huge. This is massive. This will change everything about your art career. You know how to create. You know what you want to create. Your hands know what to do. Let's get your soul and mind and body and your hands all on the same page. And this also becomes a living document. So that at every goal cycle, at the end of every goal cycle, you come back to replanning, revisioning, because this is going to change. This is going to change every 6 months. This is going to change every year. As you become more familiar with setting goals and distilling goals down from your vision, of course it's going to change. It's going to morph. You want to do this process every time before you set a major goal, so you recalibrate to you. So all this energy that you've put out, calibrating to somebody else's social media strategy, even right now, you're calibrating to me and this business strategy. After a while, you won't be. After a while, you're going to take the system and you're going to make it your own. You're going to add things, you're going to subtract things, you're going to find what works for you, and you're going to throw out the stuff that doesn't. It'll be crap to you, but you'll find gems and jewels in here, and you'll make it your scaffolding and your strategy. And I'm looking at my notes here that I don't miss anything. Order. This brings order to your body, your mind, your emotions, your spirit. It brings order to your business, and you'll be able to move faster, quantum leap, take bigger leaps in your business and personal and professional life. And coming back for just a minute to the feminine receptive mode. So let's think about this. We are artists, we're creators. As artists and creators, we function in society almost like the shaman, because we go into source, we go into the flow state, we fall back into that, and we receive information. Whether you know you're doing this or not, you're receiving the downloads of visuals, of processes, of impact. in your body, and then you create this out your hands. And it's a massive amount of empathic, intuitive information that you're receiving, distilling, and sending out. But the problem every single artist that I know has, unless they're already making hundreds and thousands of dollars every year, is structure, order, discipline, a practice, a process to follow, which in essence is the masculine. It's the containers. This big, massive source receptive energy is now contained. It's contained. If I didn't have a container to put this tea in, where would the tea go? It would make a big sticky mess on the floor. But this container is solid. It has a stable bottom. It holds the liquid, it holds the fluid. We can dispense the information in the inside in a very clear, precise way. It holds the beauty of this tea, this nourishment inside of it. What holds the ocean? What holds the river, the banks of the river? When a river is flooded and it's overflowing with information, there's destruction. It destroys the banks. It destroys everything around it. It destroys itself. But we are purposefully taking this information. It's moving to us. It's moving through us. And it's moving out of us. And it's impacting the world around us. The Dale Chihulis, the Marc Chagalls, the Rembrandts, the Picassos, the Mark Rothkos, the Heather Browns, you name it, the modern, the past, the present, Jackson Pollocks. I mean, the list goes on, right? The river contained their imagination. So we are creating an actual container, a system that can be repeatable. And if you do not have a system, you will not succeed. If you do not reprogram your past way of behaving, it's not going to work. You will get the same results. These things have to happen. So this is a system that you are going to learn. I don't claim to have the only system. I don't. You'll find others that will help you gather information and direct your art. Right now, you are attracted to this information. So trust that some part of you is calling specifically for this system from a person that's an artist, from a person that's been in your shoes, that's made loads of mistakes, so you don't have to make them. Okay. And all right, so that's the feminine. A little bit about background of my story again. I was like you. I was, the shot and gun effect, like what's going to work? How do I do this? What do I do? Do I use this strategy? Do I use that strategy? Do I sell at this store? Do I work at that store? Oh my God, what do I do? And so I just followed others to the best of my ability. But it was when I was in a personal and business development program. This organization is called Clemmer and Associates. It's similar to Psy. It's similar to Landmark. They all come from the same source. They all come from the Bob Proctor lineage of Think and Grow Rich. It's just the way of how to apply the information of Think and Grow Rich so you can embody it in your body. That was the one that I took. My teachers led me through visualization processes. And as an artist, a huge light bulb went off. And I was just, oh my God, visualizing the big picture of my life the way I wanted to, feeling it in my body, repeating that process for a day, a week, a month, a year. I was then able to lead myself and then pull to me the systems, the strategies that I needed to get where I wanted to go. The purpose of my life and my art is to remind others of who they truly are through art and creativity. And because I know this so clearly, the last client I had, my visualization, I saw and visualized my client's response to my art. In the visualization, I saw the person receiving my art crying in gratitude. I can't believe this is so beautiful. I'm feeling so at peace. It's like I'm meditating being around your art. That's what I visualized. And I visualized it and embodied it for so long. It happened. And I have a video of her saying that after I installed them. And that was the most money I made from one piece of artwork. That the job came to me, it fell out of the blue. Somebody that knew me from a long time ago got me that job. I didn't even have to leave my art studio. And I made about $500 an hour working on that job. And this client has now paid me for 3 sculptures. They love me and my art so much. And that came from this visualization process. My next goal is a much larger goal. We'll get there. I'm working at this with you. I'm going on it with you. Now coming to, so that's part of my story, distilling that down. Now let's look at this, the fantasy of something. Some of you might be saying, well, this is just like fantasy. I can't get there. I don't know how to get there. I don't believe I can have that dream that I want. You can. It's just going to take effort and focus. You can. And so let's talk about Edison. He tried, he visualized, he knew, he got a download for a light bulb. He saw it in his vision. And then he had goals and he tried 10,000 times each goal, their action steps. That one didn't work, that one didn't work, that one didn't work. But eventually he created the light bulb, right? And now based on results, look what we have now. The Wright brothers, they were just mechanics. They had this vision, the umbrella vision of humans flying. They chunked that vision down into a goal. We try this machine, we try this machine, we try this machine, and the results now are airplanes. What about the television? Who invented the TV? What about the first human that invented the chair? That came from a desire for comfort. Let's talk about the telephone, the desire for communication, the need for communication. So this fantasy, it's so important to come into this fantasy mode, to fantasize what we desire. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. And then we distill these goals. And a lot of this fantasy is you've never accomplished this before. You haven't had this life yet, but you really want it. You desire it. You long for it. It's not something you've already accomplished. You haven't already done it. You don't know how to do it. You don't know how to get there. So we're building this fantasy, Disney-like, right? And we're not going to let ourselves worry about where the resources, the money is going to come from to accomplish this. We're not going to think about that right now. And we've got to get emotionally involved. You'll get this in the how-to video. We've got to get involved in our visual, in our visualization, in our vision. So I'm going to say the result is the vision and the process is visualization. So I'll teach you how to do the visualization process. The result is your big picture vision. We pull the goals out of that big picture vision, and then we chunk those goals down into action steps you'll see in the PDF that we have here. So you'll get a visual because you're like me. I learned from visuals. So we're going to get emotionally involved in our visualization process. It is absolutely vital that during the visualization process, you train yourself to engage your five senses inside of the visualization process, as if you were there in your future. So you're going to be smelling, tasting, touching, seeing, hearing within the visualization. And then at the end of the visualization process, you're going to be writing as if it was present tense. The tea tastes like this. The temperature feels like this. My hair feels silky. The sculpture feels like this. The check is like this. And I feel so proud and grounded from it. And the reason for doing that is our body must be on board. That's how we reprocess and reprogram our body. When it thinks it's in this vision state, as if it's the present time, that's the magic. That's the magic we're wanting to get to. We're wanting to take our body to be as if it's in real time, you're there. So when you come out of the visualization, your body, mind, emotion, spirit still thinks it's in this, I've already achieved this. I've already achieved this. I already have the art studio I want. I already have the community I want. This is what it feels like. This is what the studio feels like. This is what the art looks like and feels like. This is the impact it has on the clients and their responses. So that when you pick up the phone to make the phone calls, so that when you walk out to go look at that art studio you want, or you talk to these members that might be in your new art community, you're not going to get sidetracked by somebody else's desires or goals. Your body is already vibrating in a present state in what you want. So when you go to that store to sell your work, whether it's low, middle, high priced, the owner will feel you before you come in and go, oh, I want to work with that person, because they're already locked and loaded. My nervous system can already trust them. They're not coming in asking me, what do I do? They're coming in saying, are you on board with me? And then that's a whole other sales process, something that I just went through at the end of last year. In one of my visualizations, dropped in the easiest, simplest thing I possibly could make. Cheapest, easiest, how can I reproduce this at a massive scale? And I can't keep these things on the shelf. She's selling them constantly, $500, $1,000 every month. And that $500 to $1,000 every month makes a significant difference in my bread and butter way to relax into taking care of myself in that way. All right, so we are going to start getting ourselves into the visualization state. All right, so remember, our vision is the result of the visualization process of the sitting your butt down and visualizing. Now, there are 2 recordings that are part of this video that you'll listen to. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. I'd like you to specifically to listen to these recordings. You have them, you can come back to them again and again. And you're going to be visualizing what you want, why you want it, and how it will feel over and 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 over again. Repetition. You're going to let your imagination expand. You'll fantasize, create a shopping list of all these things that you want for your personal and professional life. Again, you're not going to give any energy to how this is going to be accomplished yet. You just want to visualize what it's going to be, what you want. I'm visualizing right now my ideal dream production art facility that has a little school involved with it. And I'm not there yet, but the more and more I visualize it, the sooner it's going to show up. These are the special things you want more than anything that will fill your heart and soul, not just what you think is reasonable, but that you long for and you desire. when you were a child and you dreamed of having a life of an artist, that's what we're going to be visualizing. Seeing yourself already in possession of the art materials, tools, and supplies that you want, the studio that you want, seeing yourself already in discussions with the ideal clients you want to work with, seeing yourself physically receive checks in your hand, feeling that check, taking photos of that check with your phone and depositing into your account, seeing that dollar amount on the check, feeling what it's going to feel like emotionally when you receive that $10,000 check and how it's going to affect your life. So let's talk about the process a little bit, the process that I'm going to be taking you through to create your vision. It's a three-step process, as if you would. The first part of the process is you want to prepare yourself. You want to get up, get ready. For most people, it's better to do it first thing in the morning, but you do want to make sure you're not too sleepy. You do want to be up and about, not too much caffeine. I go into that, the how-to video, so I'll have there. You want to sit upright, and you want to have your paper and pen ready to go. And then you play the visualization recordings that I have. You're going to listen to it. You're going to let yourself go into this visualization state. And then at the end, so first part is prepare your body. The second part, listen to the recording. Third part is the writing. This is not journaling. We are not dissecting, assessing, psychoanalyzing what you experienced. This is only recording, dictating your experience in present tense. I'm in the visualization and I'm watching myself receive the check from the client with my name. I'm experiencing the pride, the groundedness. I'm observing their expression on their face. I'm going to dictate that. It felt so good to talk to Joe and to see the smile on his face as he wrote me the check. He felt so calm and safe because he felt so safe around me. And this is how it felt when I screwed in the last screw on the sculpture and stepped back, and everybody said, ooh, ah, and oh. Okay? You're not writing in past tense, you're writing in present tense, positive words. It's as if it was happening in real time. You're documenting your downloads, these fantasies, so that they can come to you. And this becomes your vision. You're going to be writing this down for 7 days in a row. So at the end of 7 days, you're dictating, and you've dictated a lot of information. On that last day, you're going to look back at all of the things you wrote, and then you're going to distill it down. And you're going to keep all of those pieces of paper with you during the 8-week goal cycle and after, and keep it for a couple of years so you can look back. Then next week, when we start taking our vision, pulling a part down that's a goal, then chunking that into action steps. We're not doing that right now. We're just focusing solely on the vision, all right? And the story. Again, let me just go over a few things. This is your compass. This is what you're coming back to. You're learning how to guide yourself with yourself. You're bringing to order to your body, mind, emotion, spirit. This is your compass you come back to, no matter what's happening, good or bad or right or wrong, with the economy, with the political environment, with inflation or no inflation, right? This is how you train yourself to ignore external circumstances and focus on you and what's next for you and what's next for your goal, next for your business, so that this year, whether it's 2025 or whatever year you're doing this, so that this year you are crystal clear as to, but the end of this year, that vision, I want that vision. I want to live, breathe, eat that vision and be that person now. So later on, the parts where we're breaking down to, right? This is phase one, week one of vision. Then we're going to be into goals and action steps. And then we're going to look at the self-image, that person that you saw in the vision. We're going to look at that person and we're going to create different vision boards externally and internally to guide us to keep ourselves on track visually, subconsciously. And then we bring order to our home, our art studio, documentation, so we don't have to do that when we're working on our goal cycle. We're front loading all of these things and we'll come back to it over and over again. So this is your vision video, learning about why we do visions, how it affects our body, how it creates and sets ourselves up for a successful future. And there are loads and loads of books on visualization and all of that. You can use those if you desire to help understand why we visualize. It's not necessary. If you don't want to, you can stay with this. And then this sets you up for your year. So I'll see you in the next video.